Hi, welcome to the social media analysis of Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix is an e-commerce styling company operating in the retail apparel space. It was launched in 2011 in US and very recently it expanded itself into the UK market. Essentially how Stitch Fix works is that they curate clothes and accessories personal to one's own style and sends them in a box at their doorstep every month. They do this using a combination of data science and personal stylists. The customer can choose to keep what they like and send back items they do not like. And the best part is they're charged for what they keep only. Currently, Stitch Fix has 3 million subscribers to this service in the US market. Talking about their social media presence, they're present across Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and YouTube. And their social media accounts for 5.64% of the traffic to their website. Moving on to a comparative analysis between Stitch Fix and their immediate rival Trunk Club. Trunk Club started in 2009 and was acquired by retail giant Nordstrom in 2014. If you see this graph on the right, Stitch Fix is doing better than Trunk Club across all platforms except YouTube. However, the difference is not that wide. With respect to Instagram and Pinterest, Stitch Fix is doing almost 50% better than its rival. In terms of Facebook and Twitter, the two are almost neck to neck, but Stitch Fix still leads the way. Now let's talk about engagement. In terms of Instagram, if you can see on the left, the monthly gained followers from March to May drastically decreased. And I suspect this is because of the COVID-19 lockdown. But it picked up again in June and then in August and September. On the right, you can see the average likes and comments of Stitch Fix are higher than Trunk Club by more than 50%. And even in terms of engagement rate, Stitch Fix stands at 0.16% and Trunk Club is far behind with 0.09%. Now moving on to Facebook and Twitter analysis. On the left, you can see that in the last month itself, Facebook has seen a considerable drop in likes on the 8th of October. However, it picked up again and has been nearly consistent ever since. The reason I suspect is because on 8th October, President Trump came back to the White House after spending 4 days in a medical center for his COVID treatment. He also posted a video message on his social media accounts. Having said that, Stitch Fix gained 4,305 followers last month. On the right, you can see that in terms of Twitter, Stitch Fix has been inconsistently gaining and losing a considerable amount of followers. The engagement score for Stitch Fix on Twitter is 19 on 100 as compared to Trunk Club's 14 on 100. However, that being said, Stitch Fix needs to fix the inconsistencies on Twitter. Moving on to YouTube analysis. If you see on the left, there was a surge in video views from March to May 2020, perhaps because of immediate lockdown and people having more time in hand. Even on the left, you will see that Stitch Fix gained immense subscribers during March to May. However, if we talk about last month alone, in terms of views gained last month, Stitch Fix saw a drop of 11.2% as compared to Trunk Club's drop of 10.3%, which also reiterates how the rival is doing better on this platform as we have seen earlier. Moving on to Pinterest. Here, Stitch Fix has been performing very well, in fact, way ahead of Trunk Club. Stitch Fix relies heavily on Pinterest reprints from its followers to be able to identify styles that are evidently liked by people. Even in terms of monthly unique visitors on this platform, Stitch Fix is way ahead of Trunk Club with 10 million unique visitors. To sum up the engagement in a nutshell, Stitch Fix sees highest amount of traffic from Facebook and surprisingly YouTube as well. As we've seen earlier, it's one of the platforms where Stitch Fix still needs to work on, despite having a lot of traffic to the website. Now moving on to the share of voice for Stitch Fix. On the left, you can see that in terms of mentions, Stitch Fix has a higher volume of mentions, both positive and negative as compared to Trunk Club. But on the right, you will see that in terms of percentage, Stitch Fix has just 19% negative mentions as compared to Trunk Club's 21% negative mentions. Also, in terms of social media interactions in the last month, Stitch Fix has again done impressively well as compared to Trunk Club, with just 2 interactions. Moving on to my recommendations. The management of Stitch Fix has estimated that the annual rate of clothing spends will shift online, representing a 30 billion opportunity. So I think this is also a great opportunity for the brand to harness their social media to tap into this opportunity. With respect to Instagram, I see a lot of potential to grow by user-generated content, especially since festivals like Christmas and New Year are around the corner. On Twitter, I suggest contests and giveaways to increase mentions. On YouTube, I highly recommend doing videos around body positivity as it's a growing sentiment currently on social media. And Stitch Fix has recently launched a plus size range. Also, YouTube drives a lot of traffic to their website. Additionally, there is a need to analyze the negative mentions, whether they are due to poor customer service or styling service not being up to the mark. Thank you for listening.